And so you were just basically providing a loop. And this was during the era of television, too.
Yeah. Oh, no, we had a good, regular crowd. My theory is don't mess with your audience. If you got an audience, leave them alone.
And so you were getting were they free? Were the newsreels free?
No, you had to pay for those, but figured out they were not expensive.
Right.
Film was nothing at all.
I guess it was almost it was like promotional for. I know, like with Universal newsreels, they'd be providing, doing like
$25 a week,
and they would be the Universal would promote their films.
Yes, that's right. They always had. If they had a new opening, they would put a little piece in the tail end. But all the stars have shown up.
And so, but the other providers of newsreels were March of Time.
Well, that's right. Well, the big one was Hearst newsreel, which was MGM.
Oh, okay. So it's like Hearst Metronome, or
that's it.
Wow. And then there was Fox.
And they had the Movie Tone news.
Movie Tone, right?
Yeah, and then there was a 16mm thing called Telenews, and we get stuff from France every once in a while. But again, see, this is a 16mm. We're running 16. Now, of course, we did a 35. I mean, it was an operation. We had. In the Broadway Theater at 49th Street, we had 3 35mm projectors and 1 16mm. And we had an operation, and 2 changes a week. And I had to make up all the copy. I'm not tooting, I'm just saying this. I had to make up the copy for 2 changes a week. And you look back and you say, well, gee whiz, I did something.
Yeah. Well, you definitely, I mean, when you say copy, you mean copy for...
the advertising.
The advertising.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you you mean the advertising the movie listings?
No, just on the front.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You mean the marquee?
Yeah, the marquee, right.
Well, what would you say? I mean, what would it say?
I don't know. A tissue of lies.
I see. So it was like kind of... Would you have like stand-ups like out in front that would just like heralds, I guess?
Before I got it was Yanks bomb Japs, that kind of stuff. But you don't use stuff like that anymore. You don't dare say Japs.
Right.
You get a letter.
But you weren't there during the war years. You were.
No, I got there after that.
Right.
Yeah. But ours, it was, floods ravaged western U.S.
God,
and when people come to see the floodwaters.
It's funny. I've done a lot of research into the theaters in general, but now but thinking about that as a newsreel house, I mean, that's a fascinating.
Oh, it is. It was, and you see, in the years and years ago, when you had all the newsreels, all the booking was done by a main booking office. They did everything. All you did was make sure the show got there, and then the projectionist took over and put it all together. But as the theaters disappeared, the manager in the theater was responsible for putting the show together and finding the product. There was no more outside office. It was strictly the guy in the theater. So you spend a lot of time doing research, just trying to find stuff. Well, my thing I always liked movies, I always liked film, and I always trying to find short subjects that were sort of, from the 30s and the 40s.
Where would you get them?
Anywhere you could go. A lot of this stuff had been sold to television. Just before I left, I had discovered the old Warner Brothers 2-reelers that they had run in theaters during World War II, Foundations of Democracy. And they were very good, and I found those just before I left.
But I guess, a lot of government films, I imagine.
Yeah, there are a lot of government. You had to be careful, because sometimes they have a message. And you remember, you're there to entertain.
Right.
Well, you could get hold of something like the Panama Canal. You could get something on that. When it was in the news, you could come up with a government film on Panama Canal, which will give people an insight.
But the but now, did you never did special events there? It was pretty much
No,
just
no.
and then and so you were there. You were or were not there when it went over to being.
No, I was not there.
Okay, so but you were. But and the Stanton though, that was kind of. Now it eventually became a pornography.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right.
And did you?
Well, if you don't have any imagination, what are you going to do, right?
Right.